Have you ever wondered what makes life worth living? Why do some people live longer and seem happier, even in their later years? Could there be a secret to living a life filled with joy, passion, and purpose? In today's video, we'll explore the Japanese concept of ikigai, a powerful philosophy that might just hold the key to unlocking a long, meaningful, and fulfilling life. Chapter 1. The Art of Staying Young While Growing Old. Imagine a small island surrounded by crystal-clear waters, a place where time seems to slow down, and people live with such grace and ease that they remain active well into their hundreds. This island is Okinawa, a part of Japan, and it holds a mystery that researchers have been trying to solve for years. How do the people here live so long, with so much joy, vitality, and purpose? What secret allows them to grow old, but stay young at heart? The answer lies in something the Okinawans call ikigai, a word that doesn't have an exact translation in English, but is best described as a reason for being, or a reason to wake up in the morning. This chapter takes us into the heart of Okinawa, where people live with a deep sense of purpose that goes beyond just surviving the day-to-day. In this place, everyone has an ikigai, and it's not some grand, life-altering mission. For some, their ikigai is found in simple acts, tending to a garden, sharing stories with neighbors, or spending time with family. For others, it's connected to lifelong passions, whether that be fishing in the quiet ocean or making pottery with care and precision. The point is that ikigai can be small or large, but it is always personal, and it's what keeps people engaged with life, no matter their age. In Okinawa, the concept of retirement doesn't exist in the way it does in the West. People don't stop working because they reach a certain age. Instead, they continue to do what they love for as long as they can. You see, when you have an ikigai, something that gives you meaning, you don't count the days until you can rest. You want to keep going because what you're doing brings you joy and fulfillment. The idea that life slows down after a certain age doesn't apply here, and it's one of the reasons why the people of Okinawa live so long. They stay active because they want to, because their ikigai gives them a reason to wake up each morning with excitement and curiosity. The concept of ikigai isn't just a philosophical idea, it's woven into the very fabric of daily life in Okinawa. Children grow up understanding that finding what they love and what makes them feel alive is important. Adults are encouraged to explore their passions, to remain connected to their communities, and to never lose sight of the joy that comes from living with purpose. This isn't about chasing some elusive goal or striving for material success. It's about connecting with the things that make life worth living, in whatever form that may take. One fascinating aspect of Okinawan culture is their approach to aging. Here, growing old isn't seen as a burden, but as a natural and beautiful part of life. Elders are respected and celebrated, not because of their age, but because of their wisdom and their continued contributions to society. It's common to see elderly people working in their gardens, walking through the village, or participating in communal activities. They are living proof that staying young at heart is more about mindset than age. They may grow older physically, but their spirits remain vibrant because they hold on to their ikigai, their reason for being. As we explore the lives of the Okinawan people, we start to see a pattern. Those who live the longest are not necessarily the wealthiest or the most successful by conventional standards. Instead, they are the ones who have found a way to align their lives with their ikigai. They are happy because they live authentically, doing what they love, surrounded by a community that values them. They don't rush through life. They savor it. Each day is an opportunity to engage with their passions, to contribute to the well-being of others, and to enjoy the simple pleasures of life. This chapter invites us to reflect on our own lives. What is our ikigai? Do we wake up each day with a sense of purpose, or are we merely going through the motions? Finding your ikigai doesn't require a major life change or a drastic shift in career. Sometimes it's as simple as rediscovering an old hobby or spending more time with loved ones. The key is to identify what brings you joy and meaning and to make that a central part of your life. In Okinawa, the people have mastered the art of staying young while growing old, and their secret lies in their ability to live with intention. They don't just exist, they thrive. They wake up each morning with a sense of excitement, eager to continue their journey, knowing that their ikigai is guiding them. This sense of purpose is something we can all cultivate in our own lives, no matter where we live or how old we are. It's a reminder that life is not just about how long we live, but how deeply we engage with each moment. Before we continue with the next chapter, please show some love by hitting the like button so we can create more videos for you. Chapter 2. Finding Flow in Everything You Do. As we journey deeper into the lives of Okinawans, we encounter another important concept that intertwines with Ikigai, the idea of flow. You may have experienced it before, that magical moment when time seems to disappear, and you're so engrossed in what you're doing that nothing else seems to matter. This state of complete absorption is what psychologists call flow, and it is a key ingredient to living a fulfilling life. In this chapter, we are introduced to the art of finding flow in everyday activities. Whether it's a painter lost in their brushstrokes, a writer fully immersed in the world they're creating, or a chef in the kitchen preparing a meal with care and precision, flow is something that can be found in any task, no matter how simple or complex. For the people of Okinawa, flow is not just something they experience occasionally. It is a natural part of their day-to-day existence. Imagine waking up each morning and knowing that whatever task you engage in, whether it's making breakfast, working in the garden, or chatting with a neighbor, will bring you joy because you've learned to find flow in the moment. This is the Okinawan way. They have mastered the ability to be present, to focus on one thing at a time, and to pour their energy into it without distractions. In our modern world, where multitasking has become the norm and our attention is constantly pulled in different directions, this ability to focus deeply on a single task is a rare and valuable skill. The concept of flow is closely tied to Ikigai. When you are doing something that aligns with your Ikigai, you naturally enter a state of flow. Think about the times when you've been working on something you love. Maybe it's playing an instrument, solving a puzzle, or engaging in a meaningful conversation. In those moments, you lose track of time because you are so fully absorbed in the activity. This is flow, and it brings with it a sense of fulfillment and purpose. But flow isn't just about doing what you love. It's also about challenging yourself just enough that the task feels engaging but not overwhelming. The Okinawans have found a balance between work and play, between effort and relaxation, that allows them to maintain this state of flow throughout their lives. For them, life is not a series of tasks to be completed, but a continuous journey of growth and discovery. In Okinawa, even the most mundane tasks are approached with a sense of mindfulness. Whether it's preparing food, cleaning the house, or tending to crops, they engage fully with the task at hand, finding flow in the rhythm of their movements. This approach to life helps them stay connected to their ikigai, because when you are fully present in what you're doing, you are more likely to experience joy and satisfaction. One of the key insights from this chapter is that flow can be found in anything, as long as we approach it with the right mindset. You don't have to be an artist or a musician to experience flow. You can find it in the simplest of activities, like washing dishes or walking in the park, as long as you are fully present in the moment. The problem many of us face is that we're often too distracted to experience flow. We try to do too many things at once, or we let our minds wander, thinking about the past or worrying about the future. But when we focus on one thing at a time and give it our full attention, we open ourselves up to the possibility of flow. In our busy, fast-paced world, it can be difficult to slow down and find flow in everyday tasks. But the people of Okinawa show us that it is possible, and that it's worth the effort. When you are fully immersed in what you're doing, time seems to slow down, and life becomes more enjoyable. This sense of flow is what allows the Okinawans to live with such vitality and enthusiasm, even as they age. Flow is not something you have to wait for. It's something you can create by being present, focused, and engaged in whatever you're doing. Whether it's a hobby, a job, or a simple household chore, Approaching it with the intention of finding flow can transform it from a mundane task into a meaningful experience. And the more we practice finding flow, the easier it becomes to experience it in all areas of our lives. This chapter invites us to reflect on how we spend our time. Are we constantly rushing from one task to the next, or are we taking the time to immerse ourselves in the present moment? Are we doing things that bring us joy, or are we simply going through the motions? By finding flow in our daily lives, we can connect more deeply with our ikigai and experience a greater sense of fulfillment. The Okinawan way teaches us that life isn't about how much we accomplish, but about how fully we engage with the world around us. When we learn to find flow in everything we do, we open ourselves up to a deeper, more meaningful existence, one that is guided by our ikigai and enriched by the joy of being present in each moment. Chapter 3. Lessons from the Centenarians of Okinawa. Imagine living a life where you remain active, healthy, and fulfilled well into your 100s. What's the secret? In this chapter, we are introduced to the centenarians of Okinawa, people who have lived remarkably long lives and have maintained a high quality of life throughout. These elders hold the key to unlocking longevity, and their lives provide invaluable lessons that extend far beyond the physical aspects of health. At the heart of their long lives is their ikigai, their deep sense of purpose that continues to fuel them even in old age. The people of Okinawa live by simple yet profound principles that guide their daily lives, and these principles contribute to their remarkable longevity. One of the first lessons we learn is that Okinawans never truly retire. While we might associate retirement with the end of a career or the slowing down of life, in Okinawa, this concept doesn't exist in the same way. Instead, they believe in staying active and involved in the community for as long as they are able. Work is not a burden, but a source of purpose and joy. Whether it's tending to a garden, crafting handmade goods, or participating in local events, the Okinawans continue to contribute to society well into their old age. This refusal to retire in the traditional sense is a significant factor in their longevity. In Okinawa, people don't just grow old, they continue to thrive because they feel they still have something to give. They wake up each morning with a purpose, knowing that there is still more to experience, to contribute, and to enjoy. Their ikigai doesn't diminish with age. It evolves and deepens, giving them a reason to keep going. This sense of purpose acts as a powerful motivator, allowing them to stay mentally sharp and physically active. One of the most striking features of Okinawan life is their deep sense of community. The Okinawans are part of moais, or close-knit groups of friends and neighbors who provide lifelong support to one another. These groups are formed early in life and remain a central part of Okinawan culture. Members of a moai meet regularly, often daily, to share meals, conversations, and activities. This constant social interaction not only keeps them mentally engaged, but also fosters emotional well-being. Loneliness, a significant issue for many elderly people in other parts of the world, is virtually non-existent in Okinawa. The people here are never truly alone because they are part of a community that values connection and mutual support. The lesson we can learn from this is that human connection is essential to longevity and happiness. The bonds formed in Okinawan communities are strong, and they provide emotional and practical support throughout life. These relationships aren't just for companionship, they create a safety net that ensures no one is ever left behind. This deep sense of belonging and support is something we can all strive to cultivate in our own lives, whether it's through family, friends, or community groups. Another critical factor in the Okinawans' long, healthy lives is their diet. But it's not just about what they eat, it's about how they eat. Okinawans follow the practice of hara hachi bu, which means eating until you're about 80% full. This approach to eating prevents overeating and allows the body to function optimally. It's a form of mindful eating that encourages people to listen to their bodies and stop eating before they feel completely full. The Okinawan diet is rich in vegetables, tofu, sweet potatoes, and fish, all of which are known for their health benefits. But the secret lies not just in the food itself, but in the way it's consumed. Meals are eaten slowly, with gratitude, and in the company of others, which fosters both physical and emotional health. This mindful approach to eating is something we can all adopt in our daily lives. It's not about following a strict diet or depriving ourselves of food. It's about being conscious of how much we're eating and taking the time to enjoy each meal. When we eat mindfully, we're more likely to make healthier choices, and we give our bodies the chance to function at their best. As we explore the lives of Okinawan centenarians, it becomes clear that longevity is not just about avoiding disease or maintaining physical health. It's about living a life filled with purpose, connection, and joy. The Okinawans are living proof that growing old doesn't have to mean slowing down or losing vitality. They continue to learn, grow, and contribute to their communities because they have found their ikigai, their reason for being. In this chapter, we also learn about the importance of routine. The people of Okinawa follow a daily rhythm that allows them to stay active without becoming overwhelmed. Their days are structured yet flexible, allowing for work, rest, and social interaction in a balanced way. This routine provides a sense of stability and predictability, which is key to reducing stress and maintaining overall well-being. Stress, as we know, is a significant contributor to many health problems, and the Okinawans have found ways to minimize it. Their relaxed approach to life, combined with their strong social bonds and healthy lifestyle, helps them manage stress effectively. They don't rush through their days. Instead, they take their time, savoring each moment. This mindful approach to life allows them to live with greater ease and contentment. The lesson from this chapter is clear. Longevity is not just about genetics or luck. It's about how we choose to live our lives, the connections we build, and the purpose we find in our daily activities. By staying active, connected, and engaged, the Okinawan centenarians show us that it's possible to live not just a long life, but a fulfilling one. As we reflect on their lives, we can start to ask ourselves, what can we learn from the people of Okinawa? How can we incorporate these lessons into our own lives? The answer lies in small, intentional changes, finding ways to stay active, building stronger social connections, and discovering our own ikigai that can lead to a longer, happier, and more meaningful life. Chapter 4. The 80% Rule. Why eating less may be the key to long life. One of the most fascinating aspects of Okinawan culture is how they approach eating. We all know that diet plays a crucial role in our overall health, but the way the people of Okinawa eat goes beyond just choosing the right foods. They practice something known as hara hachi bu, a Confucian teaching that instructs people to stop eating when they are 80% full. This seemingly simple habit has profound implications for their longevity and quality of life. Imagine sitting down for a meal, surrounded by your family and friends, the table filled with fresh vegetables, tofu, fish, and vibrant sweet potatoes. The food is wholesome and nutritious, but more than that, it's eaten with mindfulness. The Okinawans don't rush through their meals. They eat slowly, savoring each bite, and paying attention to how their bodies feel. When they reach the point where they're about 80% full, they stop eating. This practice isn't about depriving themselves or dieting, it's about listening to their bodies and giving themselves what they need, but not more. This mindful approach to eating is a key factor in why Okinawans live longer, healthier lives. By eating until they're 80% full, they avoid overeating, which not only helps maintain a healthy weight, but also reduces the strain on their bodies. Overeating, especially in Western cultures, is often linked to chronic diseases like heart disease, diabetes, and obesity. The Okinawans, with their practice of hara hachi bu, avoid these common health problems by simply eating less. But it's not just about eating less. It's about the quality of the food they eat. The Okinawan diet is predominantly plant-based, with a focus on fresh vegetables, tofu, and fish. Sweet potatoes are a staple, providing a rich source of fiber and vitamins. Their diet is low in calories but high in nutrients, which means they are getting everything their bodies need without excess. This kind of diet not only supports longevity, but also keeps the mind sharp and the body strong. Another key element is how they view meals as a social activity. Meals are rarely eaten alone. Instead, they are shared with family and friends, turning every meal into an opportunity for connection and conversation. This communal aspect of eating further enhances their overall well-being. In Okinawa, meals are more than just about nourishment. They are about strengthening relationships and enjoying life together. This mindful and moderate approach to eating is something that can be adopted anywhere in the world. In contrast to the Western tendency to eat until we're stuffed, often consuming large portions in a short amount of time, Hara-Hachi-Bu encourages us to slow down and pay attention. When we eat mindfully, we are more likely to recognize when we're satisfied, rather than continuing to eat just because there's still food on the plate. One of the challenges in modern society is the abundance of food and the cultural norms around eating. Many of us have grown up with the idea that we need to clean our plates, or that bigger portions are better value. These habits often lead to overeating without even realizing it. The practice of Hara-Hachi-Bu is a simple but effective way to counteract this mindset. By stopping at 80% full, we allow our bodies to process the food we've eaten and signal to us when we've had enough. The Okinawan elders who follow this practice not only live longer, but also enjoy better health well into their later years. Their digestive systems aren't overburdened, their bodies aren't weighed down by excess calories, and they maintain a natural, healthy weight without the need for restrictive diets or intense exercise routines. This approach to eating contributes significantly to their overall well-being, both physically and mentally. The lesson here is that less can truly be more. By eating just a little less at each meal, enough to feel satisfied but not full, we give our bodies the opportunity to function optimally. Over time, this small habit can have a profound impact on our health. It's not about extreme measures or drastic diets. It's about making a simple, mindful choice each time we sit down to eat. The practice of Hara-Hachi-Bu also ties into the broader Okinawan philosophy of moderation and balance. They apply this principle not only to eating, but to all areas of life. Whether it's work, social interactions, or physical activity, they strive for a balance that allows them to live without excess or extremes. This balanced approach is part of what keeps them healthy and happy throughout their long lives. So, how can we incorporate the 80% rule into our own lives? It starts with awareness. The next time you sit down for a meal, pay attention to how your body feels as you eat. Slow down, chew your food thoroughly, and savor the flavors. Notice when you start to feel satisfied, and then stop. It might feel strange at first, especially if you're used to eating until you're completely full, but over time, your body will adjust. You'll find that you don't need as much food as you think, and you'll likely feel better as a result. The Okinawans show us that by making small, intentional changes in how we eat, we can improve our health and well-being. The practice of Hara-Hachi-Bu is a powerful reminder that mindful eating, combined with a balanced diet and a focus on quality over quantity, can lead to a longer, healthier, and more fulfilling life. Chapter 5. Gentle Movements, Longer Life. Imagine waking up to the peaceful sounds of nature, sunlight filtering through the trees as you step outside to greet the day. For many of the Okinawan centenarians, this isn't just a morning ritual, it's a way of life. Physical activity is deeply integrated into their daily routines, but it doesn't take the form of rigorous exercise or intense workouts. Instead, it's about gentle, consistent movement that keeps their bodies flexible and strong, allowing them to maintain their health and vitality well into old age. In this chapter, we explore how Okinawans stay active through simple, gentle movements that promote long life. Unlike the Western approach to exercise, which often involves pushing the body to its limits, Okinawans focus on low-impact activities that they can sustain throughout their lives. These movements are not only easier on the body, but also provide mental and emotional benefits, helping to maintain a sense of balance and well-being. One of the most common forms of exercise in Okinawa is walking. Many of the island's elders walk daily, whether it's to visit neighbors, tend to their gardens, or simply enjoy the outdoors. Walking is a natural, low-impact activity that keeps the body moving without placing too much strain on the joints. It's something that people of all ages can do, and it helps to maintain cardiovascular health, strengthen muscles, and improve overall mobility. But walking isn't the only form of gentle movement that Okinawans incorporate into their lives. Many also practice traditional exercises like Tai Chi or Qigong, both of which focus on slow, deliberate movements that promote balance, flexibility, and inner calm. These practices are not only physically beneficial, but also serve as a form of moving meditation, helping to clear the mind and reduce stress. In fact, one of the reasons these gentle movements are so effective is because they engage both the body and the mind, creating a holistic approach to health. Tai Chi, in particular, has been shown to have numerous health benefits, especially for older adults. Its slow, flowing movements help improve balance and coordination, which is crucial for preventing falls, a common risk for the elderly. It also promotes deep breathing, which enhances lung capacity and oxygen flow, contributing to better overall health. But perhaps most importantly, Tai Chi encourages mindfulness and present moment awareness, which helps to reduce anxiety and improve mental clarity. Gardening is another common activity among the Okinawan elders, and it's a perfect example of how gentle movements can have a profound impact on health. Tending to a garden requires bending, stretching, lifting, and walking, all movements that keep the body active without overwhelming it. Gardening also provides a sense of purpose and connection to nature, which is an essential part of the Okinawan lifestyle. The act of planting seeds, nurturing plants, and harvesting vegetables is both physically and emotionally rewarding, creating a deep sense of fulfillment that contributes to overall well-being. But what makes these activities so effective is that they're done consistently. Okinawans don't engage in sporadic bursts of intense exercise. Instead, they move their bodies in gentle ways throughout the day, every day. This consistent, low-impact movement helps to maintain strength, flexibility, and endurance over time, allowing them to remain active and independent well into their later years. It's this long-term approach to physical activity that sets them apart from other cultures, where exercise is often viewed as something that needs to be intense or grueling in order to be effective. The Okinawan philosophy of movement is rooted in the idea that the body is meant to be used but not overworked. This is why you won't find many Okinawan elders lifting heavy weights or running marathons. Instead, they prioritize movement that feels good and that they can maintain for the rest of their lives. This approach not only keeps their bodies strong but also prevents injury and burnout, which are common when people push themselves too hard. In the West, we often associate exercise with weight loss, muscle building, or achieving specific fitness goals. But in Okinawa, physical activity is more about staying healthy, feeling good, and enjoying life. The focus is not on achieving a certain body type or reaching a specific level of fitness, but rather on maintaining a balanced, active lifestyle that promotes long-term health and happiness. This gentle approach to movement also helps to reduce stress, which is a key factor in longevity. When we engage in intense exercise, our bodies release stress hormones like cortisol, which, when elevated for long periods, can have negative effects on our health. In contrast, gentle movements like walking, Tai Chi, or gardening help to reduce stress and promote relaxation. These activities allow the body to move without triggering a stress response, which is why they're so effective for promoting longevity. Another important aspect of the Okinawan approach to movement is that it's often done in community. Whether it's walking with friends, practicing Tai Chi in a group, or working together in a communal garden, physical activity is a social experience in Okinawa. This not only makes it more enjoyable, but also reinforces the strong sense of community that is central to their way of life. Moving with others creates a sense of belonging and support, which further enhances emotional and mental well-being. The lesson we can take from this chapter is that staying active doesn't have to mean intense workouts or pushing ourselves to the limit. In fact, gentle, consistent movement can be just as effective, if not more so, when it comes to promoting long-term health and longevity. By incorporating activities like walking, gardening, or practicing Tai Chi into our daily routines, we can stay physically strong while also maintaining mental clarity and emotional balance. Incorporating gentle movement into our lives can be as simple as taking a daily walk, spending time in the garden, or trying a low-impact exercise like yoga or Tai Chi. The key is to find activities that you enjoy and that you can do consistently over time. By focusing on movement that feels good and that supports your overall well-being, you can stay active and healthy for years to come. The Okinawans remind us that staying active is not about pushing ourselves to the brink, but about finding balance and joy in the movements we choose. It's about staying connected to our bodies and treating them with care and respect. Through gentle, consistent movement, we can nurture our physical health, reduce stress, and cultivate a sense of peace and contentment that lasts throughout our lives. Do you want to improve yourself daily? Subscribe to our channel now and get free audiobooks every day. Chapter 6: Resilience and Wabi-sabi. As we continue our exploration of Okinawan life and the secrets of their longevity, we come across two profound concepts that guide their way of thinking: resilience and wabi-sabi. These ideas shape the Okinawans' perspective on life and help them navigate both the joys and hardships of existence. They embrace the ebb and flow of life's challenges, viewing obstacles not as setbacks, but as opportunities for growth and learning. This mindset is essential to their ability to maintain a sense of purpose and well-being, even in the face of adversity. Okinawan sense is about more than just bouncing back from hardship. It's about developing the inner strength to adapt and thrive in changing circumstances. This resilience is rooted in their deep connection to community, their sense of IKIGAI, and their acceptance of life's imperfections. They don't expect, nor do they shy away from difficulties. Instead,
they cultivated an incredible capacity to endure challenges with grace and optimism.
At the heart of this resilience is their belief in wabi-sabi, a Japanese concept that finds beauty in imperfection and transience. For the Okinawans, life is not about chasing after perfection or trying to control every outcome. Rather, it's about accepting things as they are, flawed, fleeting, and often unpredictable, and finding peace within that acceptance. Wabi-sabi teaches that everything is in a constant state of change, and it's through this impermanence that we can find true beauty. This philosophy is evident in every aspect of Okinawan life. From their handcrafted pottery to the way they nurture relationships, they embrace imperfection and value the uniqueness of each moment. In a world where so much emphasis is placed on success, achievement, and the pursuit of an ideal, wabi-sabi reminds us that there is grace in simply being present and appreciating life as it is, even when it's messy or uncertain. For the Okinawans, wabi-sabi is a source of comfort. They understand that growing old, experiencing loss, and facing challenges are all natural parts of life. Instead of fearing these moments or resisting them, they welcome them as opportunities to deepen their understanding of themselves and the world around them. This acceptance of life's imperfections is what gives them the strength to continue moving forward, even in the face of difficulty. This resilience is perhaps most evident in how the Okinawan elders respond to aging. Unlike in many other cultures, where aging is often viewed with fear and resistance, the people of Okinawa embrace the aging process with dignity and acceptance. They see it as a natural part of life's journey, and they approach it with the same sense of curiosity and purpose that they bring to everything else. Growing older doesn't mean giving up or slowing down. It simply means adapting to new circumstances and finding new ways to contribute to their communities and live with purpose. One story that beautifully illustrates this resilience is that of a woman named Kamada, who lived to be 102 years old. Kamada spent most of her life working in the fields, planting and harvesting vegetables. As she grew older, she faced numerous physical challenges, including arthritis and limited mobility. But instead of allowing these difficulties to slow her down or discourage her, Kamada adapted. She found new ways to contribute to her family and community, such as by preparing meals, mending clothes, and sharing her wisdom with younger generations. Her resilience wasn't about denying her limitations or pretending that everything was perfect. It was about finding meaning and purpose despite the challenges. Kamada's story reflects the Okinawan belief that life is a journey, not a destination. It's not about reaching a specific point where everything is perfect or easy, but about continually adapting to new circumstances and finding joy in the process. This resilience is not just physical, but also emotional and spiritual. The people of Okinawa have a deep sense of inner strength that allows them to face life's ups and downs with grace, knowing that they are part of a larger cycle of life. The concept of wabi-sabi also extends to how the Okinawans approach their relationships. They don't expect perfection from themselves or others, and they recognize that all relationships go through phases of growth, change, and sometimes difficulty. But instead of seeing these challenges as reasons to give up or withdraw, they view them as opportunities to deepen their connections. They embrace the imperfections in others, just as they do in themselves, and this acceptance allows for greater intimacy and trust. This ability to see beauty in imperfection also helps the Okinawans maintain a sense of calm and peace, even in difficult times. They are not constantly striving for more or better. Instead, they find contentment in what they have and where they are. This doesn't mean they don't have goals or aspirations, but it means they are able to appreciate the journey, even when it's not perfect. This mindset allows them to live with less stress and more joy, which contributes to their overall health and longevity. Another important aspect of resilience in Okinawan culture is their strong connection to nature. The Okinawans live in harmony with the natural world, and this connection helps them stay grounded and resilient in the face of life's challenges. They understand that life, like nature, goes through cycles of growth, decay, and renewal. This understanding helps them maintain a sense of perspective when things don't go as planned. Just as the seasons change, so do the circumstances of life, and the Okinawans accept this with grace and humility. The lesson we can learn from the Okinawans is that resilience is not about avoiding difficulties or pretending that everything is perfect. It's about embracing life as it is, with all its imperfections, and finding strength in that acceptance. By cultivating a mindset of wabi-sabi, we can learn to see the beauty in the fleeting and imperfect moments of life. This resilience allows us to navigate challenges with a sense of purpose and optimism, knowing that even in the darkest times, there is always an opportunity for growth and renewal. In our fast-paced, perfection-driven world, this lesson is more important than ever. We often put pressure on ourselves to achieve more, be more, and have more, but the Okinawans remind us that true happiness comes from accepting where we are and finding beauty in the present moment. By embracing imperfection and cultivating resilience, we can live with greater peace, purpose, and joy. Chapter 7. Living in Harmony with Nature. Picture a small village nestled between the mountains and the sea, where lush gardens thrive, and the air is crisp and clean. The people here live in rhythm with the natural world, and this connection to nature is not just a backdrop to their lives, it is central to their health and happiness. In Okinawa, living in harmony with nature is a vital part of everyday life. The Okinawan elders we've come to admire don't just observe nature, they engage with it daily. Their deep respect for the earth and its cycles plays a significant role in their longevity and well-being. In this chapter, we explore the Okinawan connection to nature and how it contributes to their remarkable health and happiness. Nature, for the Okinawans, is not something separate from themselves. It's a source of sustenance, a place for meditation, and a reminder of the cycle of life and death. From the vibrant green mountains to the calm blue sea, nature provides them with everything they need: food, peace, and a deep sense of belonging to something larger than themselves. Gardening is one of the ways in which Okinawans maintain their connection to nature. It's common to see the elders tending to their small, vibrant gardens, growing vegetables like sweet potatoes, goya, bitter melon, and other nutrient-rich crops that form the basis of their diet. Gardening is more than just a source of food. It's a meditative practice that keeps them physically active while also connecting them to the earth. The simple act of planting seeds, watching them grow, and harvesting crops is a daily reminder of the cycles of nature, the same cycles they embrace in their own lives. In Okinawa, even the youngest children are encouraged to spend time outdoors, exploring and engaging with nature. They are taught to observe the changes in the seasons, to listen to the sounds of the wind and the birds, and to respect the natural world as a source of wisdom and nourishment. This early connection to nature stays with them throughout their lives, providing them with a sense of peace and stability as they grow older. This deep connection to the earth is reflected in the Okinawan diet, which is primarily plant-based and made up of fresh, seasonal produce. The vegetables they grow are rich in nutrients and antioxidants, which contribute to their long lives. But beyond the health benefits of the food itself, the act of growing and harvesting their own food is an essential part of their well-being. It fosters a sense of independence, self-sufficiency, and pride, all of which contribute to their mental and emotional health. Okinawans also live with a profound awareness of the natural cycles of life. They understand that everything in nature, including their own lives, follows a rhythm of birth, growth, decay, and renewal. This understanding helps them to live with greater ease, accepting the changes that come with time, whether that's the turning of the seasons or the process of aging. They don't fight against these changes. They embrace them as part of life's natural flow. This connection to the natural world extends to how they build their homes and structure their communities. Many Okinawan homes are designed to let in the natural light and breeze, creating a harmonious environment that fosters well-being. The spaces are simple yet functional, with open areas that allow family members and neighbors to gather and connect. The proximity to nature is always present, whether it's through a garden in the backyard or the sound of the ocean nearby. In fact, the village layout itself is influenced by the natural landscape. Villages are often situated near mountains or rivers, places that have spiritual significance and provide the resources needed for daily life. The people of Okinawa have always understood the importance of working with the land rather than against it, and this respect for nature is deeply ingrained in their culture. One of the most powerful lessons we can learn from the Okinawans is their ability to find peace in nature. They know that spending time outdoors, breathing fresh air, and being surrounded by greenery can reduce stress, improve mood, and promote mental clarity. This is something that we often overlook in our fast-paced, technology-driven world, where we're more likely to be found indoors, hunched over a screen, than outside enjoying the beauty of the natural world. The Okinawans' deep bond with nature helps them stay grounded, even in the face of life's challenges. When they feel stressed or overwhelmed, they don't turn to quick fixes or distractions. Instead, they turn to the natural world for solace. A walk in the garden, a visit to the mountains, or simply sitting by the ocean can bring them back to a state of calm and remind them of the larger cycles of life. This connection to nature helps them maintain their emotional and spiritual balance, allowing them to live with greater ease and contentment. The practice of connecting with nature is something that we can all adopt, no matter where we live. Whether it's taking a daily walk in the park, growing a small garden, or spending time near a body of water, these simple acts can help us feel more connected to the world around us. Nature has a way of reminding us that we are part of something larger than ourselves, and this awareness can bring a sense of peace and perspective, even in difficult times. The Okinawan approach to nature also teaches us the importance of sustainability. They live in harmony with the earth, taking only what they need and giving back by nurturing the land. This sustainable lifestyle is not driven by modern environmentalism, but by a deep, cultural respect for nature that has been passed down through generations. The Okinawans understand that their health and the health of the earth are intertwined, and they live accordingly, with a light footprint on the planet. In this chapter, we see that living in harmony with nature is not just about spending time outdoors or eating healthy foods. It's about adopting a mindset of respect and reverence for the natural world. The Okinawans live with an understanding that nature is not something to be controlled or conquered, but something to be honored and cared for. This mindset is central to their long, healthy lives. As we reflect on the lessons from Okinawa, we can begin to see how our own lives might benefit from a deeper connection to the natural world. By slowing down, spending time outdoors, and adopting a more mindful approach to how we interact with the earth, we can experience greater well-being, reduced stress, and a renewed sense of purpose. The Okinawans show us that when we live in harmony with nature, we live in harmony with ourselves. Chapter 8. Finding Your Own Ikigai. As we reach the final chapter of our journey into the world of Okinawan wisdom, we arrive at the most personal and perhaps the most profound aspect of the Okinawan way of life, finding your own Ikigai. This is where everything we've learned about living with purpose, staying active, connecting with others, and embracing nature comes together. The concept of Ikigai, which means a reason for being, or the reason you get up in the morning, is deeply embedded in the lives of the Okinawan people. But it's important to remember that Ikigai is not a one-size-fits-all idea. Everyone's Ikigai is different, and finding it is a deeply personal journey. In Okinawa, people grow up with a natural understanding that their lives should have meaning and purpose. Whether that purpose is found in their work, their family, their hobbies, or their contributions to their community, the Okinawans live with a sense that life is worth living because it has direction. But finding your Ikigai is not necessarily about discovering one grand passion that defines your entire life. It's more about identifying the small, meaningful things that bring you joy and fulfillment every day. For some Okinawans, their Ikigai is related to their work or their craft. A potter, for example, might find deep satisfaction in shaping clay into beautiful and functional objects, spending hours lost in the creative process. For others, their Ikigai might be more personal, such as taking care of their grandchildren, tending to their garden, or preparing meals for their family. The beauty of Ikigai is that it doesn't have to be extraordinary or earth-shattering. It can be something simple, something that brings a quiet sense of joy and purpose. The idea of Ikigai is often represented as the intersection of four key elements: what you love, what you are good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. But in Okinawa, this concept is lived in a more fluid, less structured way. They don't necessarily focus on finding a career or profession that checks all these boxes. Instead, they focus on living in a way that feels meaningful to them, moment by moment, day by day. Finding your Ikigai is about listening to yourself, paying attention to the things that make you feel alive, and following those instincts. It's about pursuing the activities that give you a sense of satisfaction and fulfillment, whether they are related to your work, your relationships, or your personal interests. The Okinawans teach us that Ikigai is not about striving for success or recognition. It's about discovering what makes you feel connected to life and following that path, no matter how small or simple it may seem. One of the key lessons from this chapter is that Ikigai is not static. It changes over time as we grow and evolve. The Ikigai of a young person in their 20s may look very different from the Ikigai of someone in their 60s or 70s. And that's okay. In fact, it's part of the natural flow of life. The Okinawans embrace this fluidity and adapt their sense of purpose as their circumstances change. A farmer who can no longer work in the fields due to old age might find a new Ikigai in mentoring younger generations or spending more time with family. The search for Ikigai is not about achieving a final goal or reaching a destination. It's about the journey of discovery itself. In Okinawa, this journey is ongoing. The elders continue to explore new interests, form new relationships, and find new ways to contribute to their community even as they grow older. They understand that life is constantly changing, and they remain open to these changes, allowing their Ikigai to evolve along with them. The Okinawans also teach us that Ikigai is closely tied to community and relationships. Many people in Okinawa find their purpose in helping others, whether that's through their work, their family, or their involvement in local groups. They derive joy and fulfillment from contributing to the well-being of those around them. This sense of interconnectedness strengthens their sense of purpose and gives them a reason to keep going, even in challenging times. But Ikigai is not just about outward contributions. It's also about self-care and personal fulfillment. The Okinawans understand that in order to give to others, they must also nurture themselves. This is why they prioritize activities that bring them joy and relaxation, such as gardening, practicing Tai Chi, or spending time in nature. These activities not only keep them physically healthy, but also provide them with the mental and emotional nourishment they need to live fulfilling lives. For many of us, finding our own ikigai can seem like a daunting task. We may feel pressured to discover a grand purpose or make a significant impact on the world. But the Okinawans remind us that ikigai doesn't have to be something big or dramatic. It can be as simple as finding joy in a hobby, spending time with loved ones, or contributing to the happiness of others. The key is to pay attention to what makes you feel alive, and to cultivate those activities as much as possible. In this chapter, we are invited to reflect on our own lives and ask ourselves important questions. What brings me joy? What activities make me lose track of time? What can I contribute to my community or the world around me? These questions can help guide us toward our own ikigai, even if we don't have all the answers right away. Finding ikigai is not a race or a competition. It's a personal journey that unfolds over time. Some people may discover their ikigai early in life, while others may take longer to find it. What's important is to remain curious and open to the possibilities. The Okinawans show us that life is full of potential for meaning and purpose, no matter our age or circumstances. The search for ikigai is a lifelong journey, and each step along the way is valuable. As we conclude our exploration of ikigai, it's clear that the Okinawan way of life offers profound lessons for us all. By staying active, nurturing relationships, connecting with nature, and finding purpose in both the small and large moments of life, we can cultivate a sense of fulfillment and joy that lasts throughout our lives. The secret to a long, happy life, as the Okinawans show us, is not in chasing after more, but in appreciating and fully engaging with what we already have. The Okinawan elders, with their wisdom and grace, remind us that life is a journey, not a destination. Their ikigai gives them the strength to wake up each morning with a sense of purpose, knowing that they still have something to contribute, something to experience, and something to learn. And that's a lesson we can all take with us as we navigate our own paths in life. If you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed to our channel and especially like this video so we can make even better audiobooks for you.